Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Collaboration Conversations. I'm Regina Partain Bergman, co-host of this LinkedIn Live, and I would love to introduce my co-host, Miss Pearl Cox of Pearls of Wisdom. Good morning, Pearl.
Good morning, Regina, and good morning, everyone. I so look forward to when we get to chat and share all our knowledge and wisdom to everyone here on LinkedIn and across, because we're on Facebook and on LinkedIn, aren't we, with
We
this?
are. We're on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and then we also move it on over to Twitter as well. So yes, yes. So and we're on both of our platforms. So it's streaming live currently to my YouTube, Facebook, and uh,
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
Yep.
I was like, which is the third one? Oh, duh, it's LinkedIn. And we are live, folks. So you get us raw and natural. Which I love. We're authentic if nothing else. uh, so yeah, we stream it there live, and then we put it back on the other platforms when we finish up. So grateful that StreamYard allows that multi-streaming. That's a great benefit of this tool that we can do that. So and typically we attempt to have guests on our Tuesday show, and we have a long list of guests that we are coordinating schedules for at the moment. So we said, all right, let's just hop on this morning ourselves and share some value with you about how you go about networking, how you do that properly, right? Have we've done it incorrectly at times, haven't we, Pearl?
I think everyone has. And when you said about this, I really jumped at the chance, because there is an etiquette involved with networking,
Yes.
and good networking gets results. And I know we planned this, and this is where I am going to really let you shine, because you know all this. I can add a few bits, but it's knowing, because you need to be a true professional networker to really get
Absolutely.
the right results and to know what
Right.
it is you're going. And we've all seen examples of how bad networking can be, and it can literally destroy a brand. And you find, right,
Yes.
you sort of come out of a networking event and think, well, that's one I can't go back to because I kind of said the wrong thing.
Or it's one I can't go back to because there just wasn't anybody in there that was my ideal
Yeah.
partner or my ideal client.
Yes.
So the first thing we want to talk about is the strategy of networking, how to
Yeah.
do strategic networking, and then we'll talk about how to actually do that
Yeah.
networking. How's that?
Yeah.
So there's three steps that we identified for this in strategic networking. One is that you have to be in the right room, whether that's a virtual room or a physical room. So what makes it a right room? When we just mentioned a little bit of this, in that room, you're looking for a couple of things. You're looking for either your ideal clients, someone that you actually can serve and provide your products and services to in exchange for money. Build your bank account, right? We as entrepreneurs, I think many of us have a tendency, especially as heart-centered entrepreneurs, we have a tendency to give away a lot.
Yeah.
But we truly are looking for clients in this room, or we're looking for partners who can bring us clients.
Yeah.
So be in the right room. So that room either has to have your ideal client in it, or it has to have your ideal partner,
Yeah.
or people who know your ideal clients, and maybe they serve them, but in a way that is not in competition with what you do.
Yeah.
How do we find those right rooms today, Pearl? Thoughts on that?
Well, as you're saying this, I was thinking of well-known networking groups and companies that I think most people, when we look and start up in business, that we try, and they don't always work. I mean, I know I've been introduced to BNI. Here in the UK, there's something called four networking. That's the number four
Number four.
network. And in both with BNI, yes, there's only allowed one chair for a specific service.
Right.
But then I see that as a really hard sell sometimes, because you're actually asked, you have to bring other people in. And sometimes there's only so many people you can ask. So I can see where it works and where it doesn't. With the 4 networking piece, it's open to everyone. And yes, you can attend 2 before you start to pay, and you can go up and down the length and breadth of the UK and wherever you want to go and meet different people. But because it's open to everyone, you might find that you get there and there's 10 other people that offer the same services as you. So this is where you're saying, when you clarify what is a good thing, I've explained to you my experiences, and they haven't always been that good. I'm going to throw it back to you, Regine, because you've been to the right ones. You know how to look, what you're looking for, and that everyone's listened to. Because quite often it's, you get the people that are serial networkers and they're all out for themselves and they don't really listen to anyone else. And I think you have to find that happy medium, like you said. Yes, we're all in business. We need to get paid. We need to get clients out of this. But we can't make it all about ourselves, because we're just switching.
Amen. Yes, exactly. You know, there's an expression, give, get.
Yeah.
You give first, you give again before you expect something in return. And, you know, it's, how was it Zig Ziglar, you know, put it about helping enough other people and you'll get what you want. You really have to come at it with an attitude of giving. Someone asked me the other day a question about, you know, how they get people to interact with them on LinkedIn. And the answer is make a connection, give. Then you can, as you build that relationship through that giving, then you can ask for what it is that you want. But so many times people come into this with just asking for what they want or need, and it turns off that person on the other side. I mean, when I get LinkedIn connections that do that to me, I just don't even respond, because it's etiquette. It's actually etiquette, exactly what you said a moment ago. And learning that etiquette is so important to furthering your business, understanding what's appropriate and what's inappropriate.
Definitely. Like you say with LinkedIn, I've had people, normally I will connect with most people.
Right.
Very few have I had to block, but it's getting more and more, because like you say, I've got some that I've recently connected with, and I've got 5 unread messages where the second we connected, they've gone into the hard sell.
Right.
And it just completely switches me off.
Not interested.
Now I get that on Facebook as well, on Facebook Messenger, when someone connects. That's something I've only seen probably within the last year or so. But that can be frustrating, but everyone sees it as a hard sell. And that's the quickest way to alienate what could be a really great connection.
Right. It is not collaboration.
No.
It does not fit the definition of collaboration at all. You're right. They're just, you know, it's desperation to some degree at times. Sometimes I think it's a lack of knowledge and understanding about what proper etiquette is.
And sometimes it's just pure bad manners. And unfortunately, there are quite a few people out there that don't have the good manners gene somehow. Are they really?
Yeah. That gene missed them. Okay, so we get in the right room. Part of that is, you know, check out groups on LinkedIn. Check out groups on Facebook. Find those groups of people that that have complementary services to what you do, or that are, you know, inclusive of what you do. Be respectful. There's etiquette in the groups as well. Don't go in there intending to spam people and intending to just rip off that group. And, you know, there are rules. Play by the rules. So figure out what the rules are. But get in the right room where either your ideal client, your ideal referral partner, or your ideal joint venture partner are in that room. So it means you've got to understand your business and what you need in your business. The second thing is having the right message when you get in there. So if I sell real estate and people ask me, what do you do? And I say, I sell real estate. Is there anything compelling there for them to want to continue that conversation? Not a thing, right? Oh, that's nice. Thanks. Bye. Next.
Yeah.
Right. So we're going to show you a way to get your message right before we leave this conversation today. So I'm keeping an eye on the time here because we both have events at the top of the hour that we've got to be in. So so we're a little short on time today, but make sure that you've got the right message and that your message not only resonates with that person, but makes them want to know more.
Yeah.
And makes them say, I need this, you know, or you're a perfect partner for my clients. My clients need your service, that kind of a thing. And then the third step is follow up. So when you have, especially when you have a major networking event that you're going to, I went to one last week that was 3 hours and it was phenomenal. And I didn't have the time blocked out in my next day to do the follow-up. So I'm still working on follow-up from that. So if you have a big event that you're going to, and even if it's a small event, you know, if you're not expecting to come away with tons, you still need to put some time in your schedule to do the follow-up, because that's where the gold is in the follow-up, right? It's not in that shaking hands the day before, or, you know, virtually or physically, or bumping elbows or whatever we do today. It's not in that, it's in the follow-up. It's always in the details, right, Pearl?
It's the follow-up, but it's also preparation, because if
Yes.
you get to work, you prepare beforehand, because if you don't put the preparation in, like you said, if someone says, what do you do, and all you say is I'm in real estate, because you haven't practiced, you haven't put that together,
Right.
what is the point of you even turning up? Because if you've not put the effort in, it doesn't mean that much to you. You need to, like you say, you choose the right event, you put the effort and the work in beforehand, so that you know you are going to get the results out of it that you've gone there to achieve.
Exactly. Right. Otherwise, you've just wasted your time and theirs.
Yeah.
And that's burning a bridge.
Yeah.
When you waste their time, you've burnt a bridge. Yeah. That preparation is so key. So we want to walk you through some things about creating the right message. And you've probably all heard of an elevator pitch, and we've all used an elevator pitch. But what I'd like to share with you this morning is a tool that Jane Powers introduced to the world. Jane, thank you so much for this. Jane and I met Jane back in 2017 in Las Vegas at a conference with Jay Fizzette, and attended one of her breakouts. And this is what she taught, was about the intromercial. And it is so powerful. So Jane, I want to share your formula here to help folks. And folks, go check out Jane Powers. She is amazing. I immediately hired her at the time to help me with things when I met her. And so I hired her for a VIP day for myself. So there's a formula to doing this, and doing it in a way that, again, creates that interest in what you do and makes people want to know more, and to think about how it either could affect your services, could affect them or their clients or people they know. So the formula is to tell them who you are, right? I am Regina Partain Bergman. And then the next step is, who hires you? So business owners hire me. And the next step is, why do they hire me? They hire me to uncover a minimum of $100,000 in profit plus increased revenue and valuation in their company. That's why they hire me, right? So I am, and who you are. Who hires you? Business owners hire me to do what? To uncover a minimum of $100,000 in profit plus increased revenue and valuation in their company. And then the why. And this is where you want to look at the pain that they're in. So in mine, it's because Most businesses lack the desired profitability, cash flow, and structure to scale a business. So what? So I help them create high levels of profitability and cash flow with a high ROI. So there's a formula there, right? I am X, blank hire me to blank, three things that they hired you for because three pain points that they have. So I help them do three things. Okay. Then there's another piece called the bottom line. And the bottom line is, for mine, is bottom line, you'll have a business that finally provides all the benefits you started your business for. Cash freedom, time freedom, and enhanced relationships because you're no longer stressed out about a struggling business. Now, before we leave, we're going to put Jane Powers' link in here and have it scrolling across, because I want you, if you're struggling with this, you can go to Jane's website, and she has a link there where for $97, Jane will create your intromercial for you. Folks, that's a deal, because you can spend days and weeks and months creating this, and this woman can do it blindfolded in her sleep. It will be phenomenal. So let me just quickly look up her site so that we can put that in here for you. Because if you're struggling at all, I want you to go check that out. And Jane, we love you, and so grateful that that is not Jane. Hang on a second here.
Can I jump in whilst you're saying?
Please do that while I find her here. Yes.
Something that I noticed with what you've just described, that formula, not once did you say, I help. And yet so many people that train supposedly on LinkedIn how to write your profile, they say, I help. And then you say what it is you help people do.
Yes.
That is a call to action. And where you've said who I work with or hire me because that's a call to action, that you hire me because of this, and this.
Exactly.
I do not help you to do that, because help almost puts that lack in there that
Yep.
you do almost for free. We are in, if you're going to do barter, you're going to barter for money. You're actually going to do that work for someone to pay you for it. So you actually set that intention, hire me to XXX. And that's something that's really important, because how many, just look, once you've watched this, look on LinkedIn and see how many people start their description as I help, and then it says all the things that they help, because there's no call to action there whatsoever.
Yep. And so I've just put the site on here, folks, so you can see this. Intromercialimpact.com is where you can sign up to have Jane create yours for you. Your intromercial, your introduction, needs to have tangible outcomes in order to attract your ideal buyer. This formula gives you tangible outcomes. Okay. So Jane, happy to send folks your way for this. And folks, I have no relationship with Jane for a fee on this or anything. I'm just sending you to her because I know her work. I know the value of what she does. And that is a small price to pay to have a professional help you create that. And it will change how you impact those around you and how much they want to have your impact in their life.
Yeah,
so,
it's all about, like we said, do the work beforehand. This is part of the work. And then having that done by a professional, it means that you propel yourself forward as a professional, as a strong brand, and you know exactly what you're asking for then.
Right. Absolutely. Yes. So please go to intromercialimpact.com and sign up for Jane's assistance in creating your powerful intromercial. Now that said, okay, let's take it to the next step. So you were in the right room, you had the right message, or you had your intromercial down pat. If I woke you up at 3 o'clock in the morning and asked you what your intromercial is, you would be able to tell me without blinking an eye. Okay. Practice, practice, practice. And now you're in the follow-up phase. So what do you say when you get with that person that you've connected with at that event? So here's a little formula for you, and I need to probably credit someone here. I'm trying to think of Rick German, and it's Collaboration Circles, I believe, is the name of their group. Anyway, first thing you're going to do, and you're going to take turns on this first part. So one of you is going to go through this process, and then the other one's going to go through this process, and then there's a mutual process, okay? So the first part of the process is that you introduce yourself, okay? So that would be your intromercial, right? Which also gives you the what do you do and who do you serve, right? Those are all contained in your intromercial. Introducing yourself, what you do, who you serve. And then you want to talk about the type of partners or support that you're looking for. What makes a good collaboration for you? What are you looking for in a collaboration? Who would be a great referral for you, right? Then, after you've done that or the other person's done that, you switch, the other one goes through that same process. Now, once you've each shared that information so that your brains are spinning with ideas on how you can do something together, then you have that part of the conversation. What could we do together? And just let those ideas flow and come up with something amazing. Now, I'm going to ask you to take it another level, though. I'm going to ask you to do one more thing with every person that you meet in business, every person that you can add value to, and that is introduce them to 5 people that you know that would either be a good partner, a good referral partner, or a good client for them. Share it back. Share, share, share. As Phil Palucci said the other night, give, give, get. Be in that give mode, and then it will come back to you. Pearl, thoughts?
So where you said this formula, and you're saying this all at the first meeting, are you, where you're sharing and speaking to each other, and then you talk about how you can
Right.
Right.
Yes.
Now, are there any caveats with that? Because I'm thinking, yes, you go to the right place where you're going to meet the right people, but
Right.
business-wise, would you automatically talk about a collaboration? Because I know I like to get to know someone first.
Yeah. So
that's just
right.
me.
So good point. So 2 separate forums here. One is designed for networking and collaboration.
Right.
I mean, and the other, and in that one, you're going to give that intromercial and set up a time to get together,
Right.
or set up a process for getting a time on the calendar for you. And then, but when you first meet someone, or when you're just meeting another business, you would say who you would give your intromercial, right? And then let the conversation flow from that.
I mean, this is where, because you've seen how we work and the times we've had discussions with people, and I go into my helpful money making mode and I give them all these ideas, and then we never see them again. And this is where I'm speaking from experience, where I automatically give to everyone, and sometimes I have to learn to rein it in, because sometimes those ideas could actually have been monetized by us.
So my thoughts on that, Pearl, are that the give there would be thinking of who you could introduce them to, as opposed to giving them what they need to do. And save and as coaches and heart-centered coaches, that's one of our biggest challenges, is we overcoach. And we give people so much value that they say, oh, I don't need to hire you. I can just go do what you just told me. And we're notorious for that. We have to learn to curb it.
This is what I love, where you actually said about the intramercial impact piece, the fact that the guidance you've given stops you falling into that trap.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. And then if they want more, you schedule an appointment, but you're still not coaching in that appointment. That appointment is information gathering and figuring out what the next step is. Always giving value,
yeah,
but not so much that, not giving away all your trade secrets kind of thing. Not so giving so much value that they say, I really don't need to hire you because I can just go go implement what you just said. And then if I need more, I'll come back and find out more from you.
The whole idea of networking and attending these things, there is an art, and like we said, preparation, because if you don't prepare, that's where you're more likely to give all your information out. And that's where I was saying, there's certain places you don't necessarily go back because you've got nothing else to give, because you've given it all in your first introduction.
Exactly. Yeah. And you can see that this introduction, this intromercial, not an infomercial, but intromercial, it gives everything they need to know at this moment.
Yes.
To get them hungry to know more and to think, man, I need that, or I know someone else who needs that. Yeah. My clients need that, and takes you to the next level of discussion.
Yeah. And it's that where you're saying that give, get. Like you say, you go in with your intramercial, you know it off pat, you know exactly what you're going to say, but you also know those 5 people that you would be willing to connect with. And it's almost thinking like if you connect with, say, 3 people, that's potentially 15 people you maybe be looking to make introductions to. It might be that some of them overlap. There might be 3 people, and that you could have 3 people in your network that you think would be a great fit for each of them. So you're introducing the same person, but it's understanding that, isn't it?
Yeah. And a key thing we didn't really talk about is how that introduction takes place.
Yeah.
In today's environment, that introduction typically takes place in one of about 3 ways. Either an email. Ideally, a phone call would be fantastic, but it's not happening today. So an email or an introduction in a Facebook group or a LinkedIn group that has just the 3 of you, the person you're introducing them to, the person who's being introduced, and yourself, and you make that introduction to them and hand it off to them to carry from there. Now, then there's some more etiquette that's involved. If you're the person who's being, either side, but if you're being introduced to someone else, reach back out to that person who introduced you and thank them.
Yes. It's not going to happen again if you don't, believe me.
Yes. And so many people get hung up about networking and, oh my gosh, I got to go to this group and I got to do that. Can you see that if you use that process of introducing everybody to 5 new people and everybody else did that as well, your network would grow exponentially as with theirs without having to even go to a networking group. If you just think about everybody you know, who can I introduce them to? Who needs their services or has something they need, and that I can make that introduction and they can explore it. And then you step back and you let them do the good things.
Yes.
Without an expectation of return, although I will tell you that sometimes a return comes when you make those introductions. Sometimes people will pay you a fee for business that they get out of it, but that's not your driving force. Your driving force is connecting people, helping everyone. That expression of a rising tide raises all ships, all boats, right? You're helping everyone to grow so you have to have your radar on when you're meeting people, and you have to know who you know. And then that's part of your follow-up afterwards is, you in the meeting, you're saying, I know a few people I can introduce you to that would be helpful for you. You okay with me doing that? Tomorrow I'll send out an email and introduce the 2 of you. introduce you to them, each one. You good with that?
And that is almost another skill that you look at. It could almost be that you could use index cards almost, that you almost have a list that you'd have your subject, that if it was someone that worked with marketing, someone that worked in finance, that you would have at least 5 people that you knew that you could talk about with that you could actually share. And that's, again, preparation, doing the homework before you go, because otherwise, if you know that that's the etiquette in the group that you are going to be asked to introduce, and you get stuck after 3, you haven't done your homework. And if someone else you're talking to has got all 5 lined up, are they going to want to share if it's not going to be reciprocated? It goes back to that whole etiquette piece. We need what we bring to the table is ideally how we'd like to have it served to us, if that makes sense. It's got to be reciprocated.
We've got to go in just a moment, folks, but I want to just give you a quick example of this. One of the panel discussions that we're going to have soon involves a person who is actually a concierge for this. He introduces people, and he has introduced me to people, and I want to bring him and all the people that he's introduced me to into a panel discussion, and then we're going to see how far those introductions have gone. What's come of each of those introductions? How many more people have we each met because of that one introduction that he made? So you can see the real power, the exponential power of this in your own business. Final thoughts, Pearl.
You are fantastic. You are phenomenal. I've learned from this. If you see me putting my head down, I'm busy making some notes as well, because you know so much about this. You are the expert with this. And I think it's really what we've said. Do the work. Do not go there without the preparation. And please remember the etiquette. Never, never treat someone badly, because only treat people the way you'd like to be treated.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love the golden rule, but the platinum rule is even better. The golden rule is treat people like you would want to be treated. The platinum rule is treat people like they would want to be treated. So anyway, folks, we hope you got value from this. We'll be doing a lot more. We come to you Tuesdays and Thursdays. The time may vary slightly, so I'm not going to give you a time, because sometimes it varies based on things that are happening in our schedules. Pearl's in the UK. I'm in Houston, Texas. And so, we have time differentials as well as the other things that we're doing in our businesses that can, and our families, that can impact the scheduling a bit. So, but we do our best to see you on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So watch for us. And we'd love to hear your comments on our topic today. And let me just see if there's nothing in the comments at the moment. So put your comments, your questions, and we'll be happy to answer those. Jane Powers, thank you so much for your intramercial formula and for all that you've done for me over the years. And we have the link here where you can hop onto Jane's site, and she will actually create your intromercial for you for a very small fee of $97. That's phenomenal, folks. I promise you, you will spend more money than that in lost productivity working on this yourself. So take her up on her $97 offer, and we will see you on Thursday. Bye-bye, folks.